Yo, welcome back to the nightly live stream, baby. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. Let's get some folks in here. Bring. Woo! Let's go, baby. Let's go. It's about to get a little crazy. Ooh. How are we doing? How are we feeling? We feeling good? Looking good out there? Looking good out there, huh? Y'all looking beautiful on me. Looking too good. Y'all are looking too good. Julie Miller, Rhode Island, baby. Chris, Win Lambo. I'm Clipper Mike. What's up? I've seen some of the videos, brother. There we go. There we go. There we go. Woo! Woohoo! Baby. It's about to get good. What do I win? A Lambo. A Lambo in due time. Patience pays. Warren Buffett's favorite quote. My favorite quote from him. The stock market is simply a tool used to transfer wealth from the impatient to the patient. You know the price of AMC is not the price of AMC. Imagine what goes on in the dark pools. Isn't that a crazy thought? Imagine that. Imagine if we could actually see the dark pools. Oh, man. Oh, it would be wild. Test luck, Simon in the building, the one, the only Simon. Show me the money. Oh, we're very close, in my opinion. You know, always not financial advice. And I know Cheese Chaser is going to tell me to put not financial advice down, down here in the preset, but Rage Against the Machine. What happened today? Price target tomorrow. I mean, price target tomorrow, I think things are going to be a little bit mellow until we do get the CPI numbers. CPI is going to be the biggest catalyst we've seen probably besides the last Fed meeting in 2022 so far. I mean, that's really it. I mean, as far as catalyst is concerned, that's going to set the trajectory for, do the markets think Fed Jerome Powell's going to, go crazy and kill the economy while growth is slowing down and we're facing a possible recession? If CPI is high, that's what markets are going to price in. If it's low, they're going to say, hey, maybe Powell sees this. He's still going to raise rates in March, but maybe he sees this as we don't have to be as aggressive. So that's the big catalyst. If I were to put a price target on it, it's going to be above 15. That's what I would say. I'm still holding strong with, I don't think we crater too far under 15. Could we go to 12 or 10? Sure. But if that happens, the markets are going to be in a world of pain. AMC is not going to single-handedly go down to crazy levels. Sadie. To crazy levels just because for no reason. You know, it's going to be the broad market selling off and just panic. I mean, when you see the bond selling off, when you see just a mass liquidation of safe assets, risky at everything selling off, that's when AMC would fall. I don't see that at least until the CPI numbers, but probably Fed Jerome Powell March 16th. That's the big catalyst. If we hit 10, I'll be adding 2,500 shares. Oh, I'm right there with you. Oh, I'm in there like swimwear. $10. Oh my, dude, that's under the fundamental valuation from my calculations. People forget the business of AMC is, from the calculations that I've done, 30% or more efficient now than it used to be. Over 100 years, you get a lot of bad locations that don't make good profit margins, that lose money, and you just keep them open because you're a big business. You're not so actively involved with, like a growth stock, like a growth company. They're going to shave off the bad and keep the good and keep growing. that hasn't happened with AMC in the last 100 years, probably in the last, since the box office peaked around 2012-ish, give or take a couple years. They really haven't been cutting the fat away from their business as much as they probably should have been. That happened abruptly in 2020 and 2021. They have closed down many locations, some of which that have been open 50 plus years, and that's going to translate into bigger gross profits or net profits even once everything gets back to normal. The bad part is we don't have a lot of the big movies that start to hit theaters, the potential blockbusters, until really June. Okay then, what's going on? We came to play today, baby. What's the next important catalyst coming? It's going to be the CPI data on Thursday. You do have some earnings, which surprisingly Disney could actually move the markets a lot, in my personal opinion. I do have some trades on Disney. I do have calls on Disney, and they're holding up very well. People are betting on Disney a lot, and it's going to show the consumer demand more than anything. I think investors will pay attention to the streaming aspect, but I think they also want to see how many people are going to their parks. Are they still booked out like they were their last earnings? Pretty much the last year, right? 2021, they were pretty much booked out. Are people still going to do leisurely activities? If that's the case, then I think it could actually give a boost to the markets to show that the economy is not slowing down. Consumers are still spending, and obviously household wealth is still at very high levels. The savings rate, though, has come down. So I think Disney is going to be important for a lot of different areas, and I think that could move the markets. As far as AMC specifically, it's going to be the earnings, but we also do know that AMC correlates with the broad markets. But if you've noticed, we're not seeing those 5 or 10% down days anymore for a couple reasons. Because the fundamental valuation is matched up with the share price. I mean, you're not paying any MOAS premium, for a lack of a better word, when you're buying AMC. You're buying AMC at, well, maybe you're not buying it for these reasons, but if an outside institutional investor were to be buying AMC right now, I mean, it makes sense on a fundamental basis. It's something that's not going away, as much as the bears would like to say. Theaters are not going away. You can't replicate that experience. So it's at that fundamental valuation. It's going to be critical what happens with the CPI, and that's probably why the markets are moving a lot but not doing anything. Like, all you've seen today was, up a little bit, down, up, down. Like, the markets did nothing today. They moved a lot, but they did nothing. So that's the next big catalyst. And then Fed Jerome Powell the 16th of March, and CPI March 10th as well. And then earnings, I believe that is March 9th for AMC. Might be wrong on that, but I mean, the whole markets are at critical levels. Let me take the VWAP off here. I mean, we're right in between this level we need to break out above, which is 450. And you're really in between the 100-day and 200-day moving average. So, if we do break under the 200-day again, that's when things are going to get a little bit crazy. I mean, we could retest the 420s, which we were only there for one day. And that would cause AMC to go down, but not at a violent rate. You're not going to see those 5 to 10% drops. Some good news, if you're watching this, you probably own AMC. You've probably felt all of the pain so far. At least in the, really short to midterm, you felt all the pain. My personal opinion is when the markets crash, that's when you see the MOAS. And in this case, it's not going to be a March 2020 type crash. It's going to be a longer dated extended crash. Something maybe even along the lines of 2018. Where you were at these peaks, you came down, you stayed down for, 8 months before you broke out to a new high, came up, hit that new high, and then came right back down into a big crash. And then you finally hit that high from the mid 2018s in mid 2019. So, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And the timeline of that puts us in between July and October to be more conservative. My estimate is probably September. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but if you hit the MOAS in September, even if it took 20 years, you are still the best performing hedge fund or institutional investor damn near of all time. I mean, if you get even 1,000% return, which would be AMC going from your break even, right? $30, $35 to $350, you are still the best performing hedge fund, or I wouldn't say retail investor because people have hit some crazy YOLO trades, but that's a phenomenal return. So that's, to stop all the ranting, that's really my thesis behind it. But if we go to like $10, that's a buy hands down. You said 420. Nice. If 90 to 95% retail going to dark pool, that means even brokerages that don't have paying for a flow still going through dark pool. I mean, yeah. I think the biggest issue is brokerages lending shares out to hedge funds and institutions over and over and over again. Think about it. If you have 100 shares in your brokerage account, even if they don't use payment for order flow, or if they do, that they all do this, but I think they're just lending out shares 2, 3, if you have 100 shares, they're lending it out like 3, 4, 5 times over and over again. So that's going to flood the markets with supply. And like I've said a lot, they don't have to deliver real shares until you go to sell. If retail is not selling, then you don't really have to find those shares for a while. What is up? IG Nico in the building, baby. Let's go. One of the reasons holding AMC is down, they know a good percent going to buy up XRP. I've heard a lot of people talk about XRP, but I mean, I did buy Ethereum and Bitcoin Gold, and I'm up like 20% on that in like a week. So, I mean, cryptos have been doing good. At some point, they will correlate the markets. At least they have not been recently, but historically they do. So, I mean, just keep that in mind. You probably have a couple, probably till March-ish. Once shit hits the fan in the markets, it's going to hit the fan in crypto as well. But September, really? No way. I mean, man... I'm a long-term investor through and through. I've been doing this a long time. So I've sat on stocks that I was down on for a year or two to make 20, 30, 40% once it finally does pop. And that can happen in one day. And that's even not bad. If you average 20% every year, you're right up there with the top investors of all time. So, I mean, to say September and you're looking at 1,000%, 5,000, 10,000%. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. Just to be 100% honest with you guys. I don't want to tell you guys anything I wouldn't tell my mom. If that's the case, then, I would be in it for the wrong reasons. Happy Monday, bro. Could you see $10 happening? Things would have to get really, really bad in the markets. And it's Apple and Microsoft that are holding up the indexes. A lot of stocks are down a lot, but that's not where institutions keep their money, because the S&P 500, right? Think about it like this. The S&P 500 is the benchmark. Institutional investors, they have to own the benchmark. They have to own at least Apple and Microsoft and your top, 5 or 10 stocks. Because if your hedge fund is invested in, like, say Cathie Wood for an example, there's not that much money that is flowing into Cathie Wood's fund right now, which it probably, she probably should be seeing more inflows now. That's just not how human psychology works. So if a fund is returning at least what the index is returning, if not better, that fund will continue in theory to grow customers and stay in business. If they are diverged away from the index, then they're not going to perform likely as good as the index. If the index did 25% last year and you did 10%, like Citadel, they only did 18%, then your customers start scratching their head like, why did I not do as well as the markets? So hedge funds, they have to, or they're kind of psychologically forced to buy into index stocks like your Apples and Microsofts that are doing great right now to at least produce somewhat of the same returns as the S&P 500. If they don't, they lose customers. So once the markets go down, that's where you see a lot of liquidity drying up. So, once that happens, if the markets tank 20%, would not surprise me to see AMC at $10. If not, there's no way in hell. It's already dropped so much. It's priced for its worst case scenario. Like AMC right now is priced for no future growth. AMC is priced at its value right now with a very low priced earnings ratio. Are you bullish or bearish for AMC tomorrow? Thank you for the super chat, brother. Showing love like always. I'm kind of neutral. I think it's going to be a lot of what we've seen today. Kind of big volatile moves, that end of the day sell off today. Until we get the CPI numbers, I think market makers are literally confused right now. They don't know what to do, how to take the back end of these trades. Like what do? They don't know how investors are going to price in the CPI numbers. They have their algorithms programmed to say, if CPI comes in at 7.5%, sell everything, to create that downward pressure. If CPI comes in lower, they're like, hey, buy, right? So it's kind of in a weird limbo right now. I think once we do get a little bit more earnings, like tomorrow and after hours, we're going to get Peloton, Enphase, Digital Turbine, Chipotle, Corsair, Lyft, XPO Logistics, Spirit, Doximity, and Paycom. Some bigger names there. Chipotle, that's a hedge fund, one of their favorites. Lyft is also another big one, and then Disney and all that. And then you have the CPI numbers on Thursday, which do correlate with AstraZeneca, Philip Morris, Datadog, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, and Twitter. So you're kind of in a weird limbo state. If I were to imagine, you're probably going to be bullish heading into the CPI numbers because that's kind of how it has been, right? If a stock like Snapchat is sold off, priced for their worst case scenario, beaten into the ground heading into CPI or any, earnings or any big catalyst, they tend to rally. If it's like Facebook and it's not sold off into their earnings, they tend to fall. That's the correlation I'm seeing right now in the markets. And same thing for the broad markets as well. If we do have a bullish response and then head into CPI, markets will probably go down. If I were to imagine it, if we sell off into CPI, markets will probably bounce because it's pricing in all that bad news. Long story short, I think CPI will be on the negative side. I think it's probably going to come in at expectations or higher, and that's when you do see the sell off. But I'm pretty neutral until Thursday, to be quite honest. I don't know what I think. All buy orders are parked in dark pools and only sell orders are going through, and it's very minimal sell orders. Is why price dropping little by little. I think it will drop. Yeah, definitely. It's happening. I mean, Citadel is the monopoly. They really do what they want. They go by their own rules. Your pops Lou said the squirrel at the park told him is coming soon to come back next week. See, you commented last night on the stream and never got back to me. But interesting correlation there. Below teens before they cover more affordable price for them. They deal with SC and they'll cover by an affordable price. See, I mean, this is like, if the average short, they're in aggregate probably positive on their short positions, right? The median $20 to $30. That's what I would imagine. Some are higher, some are lower than that. I think it's more of an ego thing at this point. The price of AMC is not the price of AMC. Yeah, that's the punchline. We're on the right track when they touch their own building and remove the breeze without an arson investigation. Oh, yeah, that shit is fraudulent as hell. Should sell my AMC NFT for more AMC shares. How much should you sell it for? I have no idea. honestly, I just like it for the history of it. I'm a big history buff, so I could see it a lot higher in the future, especially after the MOAS happens, and if they don't give out any more special NFTs. But I kind of just like it. But then again, it is my only NFT, so. Every video you ask how many shares we have. How many do you have? I think I answered this last night. I'm not exactly sure. I have like 1,000 to 2,000 in between there. But I bought them really high, and I'm a long-term investor. So I have positions in Snapchat, Abify, Lucid, SoFi. I think I counted. I have like 15 different stocks. I like to stay pretty concentrated. And on a dollar amount, AMC is my largest position. So rest assured on that. It's my largest loss in my portfolio. So I'm right there with you guys. But yeah, I think it's good. I think it's really good. But I have it in a couple portfolios. Oh, there we go. Super chats, baby. Little 99 cent. Get some butter on the popcorn, baby. There we go. Oh, man, 33.50. The problem is they don't have enough money to pay for the squeeze. That is a problem. That is a problem. I'm Clipper Mike. The price of AMC is not the price of AMC. Spread that word, baby. I love it. Price of AMC is not the price of AMC. Yeah. I mean, as many glitches as we've seen, I think that goes to show a lot. Appreciate you guys. You guys are showing up today. When do you think AMC will have earnings? I believe it's confirmed for March 9th, I believe. Not 100%. Ooh, that Batman NFT though. I want to get it. Jeez, I believe it's March 9th. Yeah, March 9th. Hey, that was good memory, because I got to keep a lot of stocks up there to make a lot of trades. Yeah, March 9th. I got like a whole bank of earnings dates in my brain. The shorts have not covered. Yeah, and that's the bottom line to it, you know. And even more so now. I mean, if you pull up Ortex, like, why are you shorting AMC at these prices? A stock can only drop so much, but a stock can rally, in theory, unlimited to an infinite number. Why are you shorting this stock right now? That's why I think it's egotistical. And then also at the same time, this suggests to me that once you do see a rally, whether it's a secular rotation of money flowing into mid and small cap stocks, which that's where the deals are in the markets, are in stocks like AMC, DraftKings, SoFi, stocks like that. You're beating down small and mid caps. Either it's that or a catalyst, catalyst earnings, or just the market's crashing, and then you see a pop in AMC. Whatever the case is, I think considering there's much less meat on the bone as far as profits that can be made by shorting the stock at these prices, I do think that's going to be a cause to cover a lot faster. Because even if you take a small loss, I think it's a lot better as an institutional investor to cover as fast as possible once you start to see other people covering, because they know. It's no surprise what can happen to stocks that retail investors own. So it's good. VIX went down today. AMC baby pump tomorrow. That would be solid. I mean, I'm definitely a fan of the short-term moves. I'm not going to argue with it at all. However, the low volume today indicates the shorts are just about done pressing it down. Yeah, I think the sellers are gone. I actually made a video about that earlier, going over, the shorting and really the artificial shorting that is happening. Because if you look at the institutional orders, you can see that actually this one came in, I believe that's after hours military time over here. Not the greatest with military time, but $16 call actually for 56,000 for June 17th. But in the short term, you're seeing nothing but puts that are in the money. $20, 20, 15, 15, 20. Like there's no puts that are not in the money right now. So you're seeing a lot of artificial shorting that is happening. And I think that's a way that they're also shorting the stock without having to report that. Because remember, Melvin Capital just said like 2 weeks ago that they are now positioning themselves to not have to report their short positions, which would be playing options like this. Effectively, if you buy a put that's in the money with a break even of, say, 0.2% to break even, then you're effectively initiating a short position, and you don't have to report that unless it carries over until your 13F filing. If you're doing these shorter term, you're never going to have to report your short positions. So it's pretty interesting. Comes out and their earnings is when we fly. Yeah, I think it's just priced for that worst case scenario. Apes drink a lot of water, my friend. Fucking ape water bottle. You need to see the moving averages broken with volume to see any substantial. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I even look at in my trades throughout the day. You can see even on the SPY. It's very important. Directly correlates. You're under, finding a lot of resistance at the 50-day on the 1 minute candlestick chart. You finally break above that. You test that. And then you finally, it's a solid indicator on any stock, but on AMC as well. Like it literally tells its own story. But looking good. NVIDIA news. What happened in well, they were leading all day. Is anybody in BACT? BKKT? That one could be good. Are you talking about the drop? They were just leading all day. They weren't one of the best NASDAQ stocks on the day, so they got crushed. AMC going to jump 500 in 3 minutes after earnings just like Amazon just did. Possible? But, I wouldn't bet on that. I think it's coming either way. Be waiting 5 more years at this rate. See, I think that's the problem. It is people want it to happen right away. And I always say if you're feeling like it's taking forever, then buy another stock, buy something else. I'm all for people making money. Fuck an individual stock, fuck that. My ultimate goal is to teach this information and spread financial education so you guys can make money no matter what it is in. As long as you don't sell your AMC, you're still going to get rich in due time. Like, if that's issue, because I know people, they see other stocks rallying, they see AMC not doing too much. Trust me, I get it. But what I've learned is, obviously, it's not a loss until you sell. And things tend to come back in due time. And with AMC, you're betting on each other. You're betting on the shorts ultimately being forced to cover, and you're also betting on the momentum coming back into the markets. Why am I so confident that momentum will come back into the markets? Which this is still something that blows my mind. I just can't get over it. But AMC was searched more than stimulus check. And I know we all had probably a couple handfuls worth of people that were searching stimulus check news every day. That shows a lot. You have Charles Gasparino. People that don't even like AMC watch the stock. When there is a trade there, they're going to take that trade. They're going to add to the buying power. And then on top of that, anybody that sold out of AMC at any point, whether for a gain or a loss, they're still going to buy back into it. That's just human psychology. It's now lower than Cinmark. Well, AMC has a lot bigger market cap than Cinmark. So AMC is still a much bigger company. Eric Cuddle in the building, baby. Woo. Let's go. Shit's getting real. Can't see earnings being in the positive this year, and he's sold too much. I mean, I see how he's, 67. He has like 95% of his net worth in AMC. It makes sense from that logic, and I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I mean, he could have sold at 70. I'm not saying everything he does is perfect. Nobody is. But if you were in that situation, if you don't have an estate planned out like he did not before this, you're in a really tricky situation, But I'm kind of neutral on the whole thing. I like what he's been doing with NFTs, crypto, popcorn. All of that has added fundamental value to the business. There's no denying that. So he's done more good than bad. I mean, you could say selling stock, unless you expect it to pass away in a couple months or something, then he probably could have held off doing that. But, I don't really fault him too much, putting myself in his shoes, if that makes sense. You're right. I went hard on Microsoft, Sony in the meantime. $200 average and $77 for Sony, so I'm good. Yeah, exactly. And that's where you can learn options too. And that's why I do encourage people to learn options, not to be super risky and gamble everything on one trade, but to open up your options and your opportunities in the meantime, while you're waiting for AMC, or just to branch off into a different realm of investing. Options are my favorite. I mean, I'm a natural born gambler, but with options, it's not 50-50. You can tilt the odds in your favor like 70-30. Like Corsair. Like, we had this trade on Corsair in the trading community, right? We bought these contracts for $7. The stock only moved up 1%, but the contracts are now at like $25 a piece. That was a 270% return, and that was just knowing how to trade options. That was the opportunity, because if you learn options and you know how to make money besides just the share price going up, you're holding for the MOAS, things like that, you can have a lot of different opportunities out there that can make you a lot of money in a short time. So I think it's very important that people take the time to learn this, because ultimately, if you like investing, which I know all you guys do, David Parker, Todd, all you guys that I see in here every day, you obviously like this shit, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be dedicating so much time to this. So I think it's cool. Is the mic low? Shouldn't be. Is the mic low? With every other rule they're implementing, it only makes sense. What is Gary Gensler expected to say about AMC on Wednesday? Oh, he's probably, in the interview that I posted on the channel with Bloomberg and Gary, he said they asked him a question. He said, the reporter, I don't know what his name is, he asked Gary Gensler, he said, so if you were to point a finger at somebody, would you point that finger towards Robinhood? He said, hey, we don't want to come out with that statement yet, but basically they did have a part. The lack of transparency had a part to do with what was going on, the over leveraging. So, thinking along the lines, kind of piggybacking off what he said, I think it's going to be along those lines. I think you're likely to get some kind of announcement, because ultimately when people are, when Melvin Capital's leveraged up so much that one move in a stock causes them to go out of business if it wasn't for Citadel, which they probably will anyways. They bought Facebook and the next day later it dropped 25%, so they just have bad luck in general. But that destabilized the financial markets. People put their retirement into these funds, and it just hurts everything when there's a lack of transparency. So I think that's coming. He also said in that interview, like he said before, that Canada, the UK, Australia, they don't have payment for order flow, so we don't have to have it. Because the reporters asked him, like, could we go without payment for order flow? He said, well, these countries don't have it. We also don't need to have it. I'm jacked to the effing tits. You feel it, Tyler? I feel it now. I bet you he halts dark pools and payment for order flow. Yeah, that should be. Oh man, dark pools. There should definitely be more transparency. I think, like, I'm all for transparency, but an open free market as well. Like I tell people that will talk to me in person about, like, Nancy Pelosi's trades. I'm like, I don't give a shit if they trade whatever they want, as long as it is disclosed to us within like 10 minutes after the trade is made, because then we all have the same knowledge. They might have inside knowledge, but we got their trades instantly, right? Makes sense? So as long as there is transparency in everything, it can be okay. Like, if we knew what was going on in the dark pools, I wouldn't be so adverse to dark pools. If people were notified instantly Nancy Pelosi was making a trade, people wouldn't care so much, unless you were just against people making money. Some people just hate rich people for no reason. But besides that, I think there should just be transparency everywhere, but a free and open market at the same time. Yeah, futures looking decent. They haven't switched to red yet, but not a big move nonetheless. There isn't any counter to the burning building. Oh yeah, that's definitely not a weird coincidence. Not at all. What do you think about taking options on Lucid few months out? Everything that's growth, that's non-profitable, is going to be somewhat dragged down unless there is a big catalyst, a big announcement. Lucid, they had posted a tweet about a week or two ago that said they were expanding, and I believe they announced that not maybe a couple days ago, and it didn't do much for the stock, and they've kind of been showing a little bit more weakness. So if I were to trade options on Lucid, I would probably go with leaps. And if you don't know what those are contracts that are like January 2023, but really I would stay away from those right now because of my timeline and what I expect to happen with markets. January 2024 is going to be the best, and when they open up the Aprils for 2024 here in the next couple of months, that's where you can get the best pricing, is sometimes when the contracts first start trading. But if you do monthly contracts like that, if you go out to like April, June, July, or even September, I would look at it like, hey, I'm probably going to lose 50% of this money. If I don't and I make money, cool. If I do, that's also fine. That's the way that I would look at that. You think the fire has to do something with short selling? Oh, Oh, definitely. I mean, there's uh, I've learned things are not a coincidence, especially in the finance investing world. Things aren't just um, coincidences, especially when all this uh, investigation stuff has come to light. If they do that, Tyler and Nancy will just use a different name to invest. Yeah, it's actually Nancy's husband that does a lot of the investing. He's a venture capitalist, so it's um, not defending her or nothing, but I mean, I think there should be like way stricter penalties for stuff like that. Like they have 45 days to report their trades being in Congress, and if they don't, it's only a $200 fine. That's like 5 or 10 minutes of work for somebody like Nancy Pelosi. Not even if you consider her net worth. Um, Probably like a minute worth of work. So, there's no penalties for not doing that. Sometimes it'll be 2-3 months later before they disclose a trade. So, yeah, you're probably right. They'll probably use offshore accounts or something. Fuckers. Like, I mean, they obviously have insider information though. Like don't get me wrong. I'm definitely in that camp of they have some insider information, but if I could see their trades and I could put two and two together, that would be better than where it is now. Cardano and XRP are really taking off too. Up 18%. XRP has gotten everything has gotten clapped. What am I talking about? Yeah, I was going to say, didn't XRP used to be a lot higher? It's actually recovered nicely. Ethereum, it's all good. Your camera's blurry. Yeah, it's probably the focus on it probably hates me. Tyler, yep, change her name. That is why Pelosi's Trades are the best trading brokerage on the planet. Right. Trading subscription to get all her trades in real time. For fake document is tremendous. The penalty for not producing a false document is minimal. Yeah. It's only $200 to not report the trade within 45 days. And that's like nothing. So it's like, if the punishment was higher, then I think they would be more prompt on getting that out. But I think it should just be reporting every day. Like, why every 45 days? That does the public no good. MC Flora 100K. Delusional Spider Monkeys the squeeze was in June when it ran to 72. Anyone that held on the way back down to 15 is easy pickings. Put's been paying me fat on this junk. Oh, you're gonna get yours, brother. I wish you the best, but you will definitely get yours too. Like they say in the Bible many times, those who wish harm on others will find harm to themselves. So I'd be careful with what you say. Loopring, XRP, shit, Polygon, etc. Yeah, everything's taken off. But I know it's people like you, Mark, that are going to buy into the stock once it starts to rally. So I like the shills, honestly. I think y'all are cool. I like proving them wrong, but shills never have a good argument. Like, why are you buying puts at $15 per share? Make that make sense. Maybe if you bought them at 20 or 30, okay, whatever. But to hold on to a put right now just shows me that you're not very I don't want to like directly clap you, but if you're still holding on to a put on AMC, you've squeezed out all you can and you're not that sophisticated of an investor. There was no other way. There was no other decent way to say that, but you've got everything out of AMC that you were possibly going to get out of it if you did have puts. So there was really no easy way to say that, but you're new. I'm sure you're a new investor. It's all right. It's all right. We're good. We're good. Can we just boogaloo? It's not even a radical stance at this point. I have no idea what that means. Are you invested in HMBL? No. No, I like your small and mid cap stocks. Really that in between 5 and 40 billion is where I like to stay around market cap, where you can get those big wins. But like your Apples, Microsofts, Facebook, even Netflix, I mean, those are not the stocks personally that I would like to own right now. I know that's like a super small stock though. HMBL, and those stocks are not going to be in favor for probably a long time. Clap that shill. Yeah, I was trying to articulate that in a decent way. I wanted to fly off the handles because, I mean, for multiple reasons, but do you think we've hit the bottom yet, or do you see some more downside? I mean, 15 is really that huge support as of right now. If we do, I think it's possible to go to 12 or 10, but the markets are going to be in a lot of pain if we go to those levels. I mean, we were at $13.40 per share at the bottom of, pretty much the bottom of the markets when the SPY was at 420. So if we go to 10, I mean, I would expect the markets to be at least down here in the 360 range, 360, 370. And then, I mean, at that point, the liquidity is all but dried up, or at least a lot drier than where it previously has been. I have a margin account, but didn't use any of the margin to purchase any of my AMC shares. Am I okay? Because Lou says to switch to a cash account. I mean, margin, cash accounts. I think they all just will lend out your stock anyways. The theory with that is when you have a margin account, they can lend out your stock without even having to ask you. I mean, with a cash account, I'm sure they do the same thing. Obviously, nobody's going to come out and say, yeah, we lend your stock out multiple times even though you have a cash account. But you can't really prove, what they're doing with your cash or margin account, what the difference is. I think they do the same thing. I mean, I wouldn't, I wouldn't freak out too much about it, but I think they're going to do what they're going to do regardless. And that's the ultimate, I mean, that's the great thing. That's why the short interest is so high right now. That's why we have such a, I was going to say strong community, but there's a lot of people that have legit rights to shares, and they're going to have to figure that out, and that's going to drive up the share price in a long rant, just to save you the rant. By doing that, by lending out multiple shares, that means we have claims to more than the free float that is available, and that's going to drive up the share price even more. So it's a bad thing in the short term. Once it comes to fruition in the form of the MOAS, then I think it'll ultimately be a positive thing. Quote me on that later, but that's my thought process. And like I said, for anybody that is here, I'm with you guys. My worst performing stock was AMC. So if you guys have lost money, I'm sure most people have. Some people have really low averages still, but AMC is my worst performing stock. My average is in between 35 and 37 for most of the different portfolios I have. For the largest one, it's about $37. So, and ironically, my best performing stock is Abivai, a dividend payer that I'm up like 40% on in the last year. Will you be live when start to moon? It kind of got us when the top is a short start covering. Yeah. Oh yeah. I will cancel whatever I have going on that day. 100,000%. 100,000%. Tyler, you're gonna have to do longer live streams. I have 8 more days till Brandy comes home. So you're like my only entertainment. Oh, let's go. Where'd she go, though? I think you said something on the last live stream. She said, this motherfucker, David. Oh, that's funny. Over 1,500 shares of AMC and over 200 shares of GME and balls of steel. There we go. That's what I like to hear. I mean, at this point, it's only up from here in the longer term. Like, if there's any positive note I could give you right now, even when you're facing a possible market collapse 20-30% from here, in my personal opinion, over the next couple of months, the best word of positivity I could give you is that you felt all the pain already. And it can only ultimately go up from here, even on a fundamental basis. And that's where I'm coming from that at. It's not like AMC can fall to $5. Like, it's fundamentally worth more than $5, more than 10, arguably 15 to 20. But just to be conservative, say 15, and that's why we've been holding up so well around 15. You know, like no matter what the markets do, we've been holding up at 15, and you see really a strong level of support around 15. Oh yeah, shit. Love to make $300 a month on dividends. Yeah, that's, I mean, what is that? If you get a 5% dividend yielder, yeah, that is a decent amount, huh? Well, UWMC is a mortgage company based in Michigan. Their stock is $4, and they are currently paying 9%. It could be a dividend trap. I own some. Yeah, I'm down like 50%. Well, I'm down like 30, 40% on it. So, not financial advice, but that's a good dividend payer, in my opinion, that you can buy right now. She's visiting her dying father in Texas. Oh, my apologies. My apologies. That's the worst part about life. I swear. GME 90 AMC. There we go. 21st, baby. I'm good. Hope all is strong. Oh yeah. We're always strong. We've felt it all, yeah. Tell Brandy I said prayers to her. Want to retire 2 days at the gym, travel soon, moon. Yeah, I mean in the meantime as well too, you know, reach out, learn about options, things like that, like the Facebook puts that we had in the trading community. Those like $100 into 4,500. Like if you hit a good trade on that, that can also be on top of it, on top of whatever AMC does. You know, which company? It's UWM is what it'll come up. It's not financial advice. I mean, it's fallen a ton. UWMC, actually. I personally own it. I'm down a lot. My average is like $9. You're buying it at the bottom of the barrel. And they do pay 10 cents a share, so it comes out to 9, almost 10%. Bad part is it's a mortgage loan originator. So, you know, mortgage stocks, they're not going to be too hot for a while. But if you just want it for a dividend, and I mean, how low is it going to go? Sitting at $4, it's a sound business. That's really the question there. I don't see it going much lower. I actually want to pick up a little bit more. But, yeah, my dividend yield's only like 3%. So the 9% seems pretty attractive, but just not financial advice, but that's a really good dividend payer. See account above 40 again, I'll be loading my tools and heading home. Ooh, there we go, baby. Big Blue, you actually run CNC equipment. I've seen a lot of people actually recently that do CNC, like fucking complicated machines that I can't even wrap my brain around. Interview at Boeing tomorrow. I doubt any company could ever compensate me the way the market does, but I miss going into a building and seeing people opposed to just solo trading daily. Wow, at Boeing. Okay. There we go. Yeah, Boeing's not terrible. Most people here are getting close to long-term capital gains. That's more money in your pot. Yeah, exactly, too. That's another good way to look at it. It's UWMC. I mean, just know your risk involved, which, I mean, you're like the biggest thing with dividend stocks is like with the dividend, your downside is usually capped. So at this point, as long as UWMC, which I wouldn't suspect they do this, as long as they don't cut the dividend, paying 9%, people are going to buy the stock at these levels. So it's like, I don't see the stock going down much more, and you would lock in a 9%, over 9% dividend yield. But mortgage stocks are also not going to be as highly desired. So odds are the stock does bounce from where it's currently at what, $4, almost $4. What's it at? Exactly the price. $4.28. Odds are it only bounces to maybe $7 in the next year. So that's still a really, really good return. What's that? Close to 100%. So a really good return. I'm not going to downplay that at all. You'd be killing it if this was your only stock. But that's really your only potential upside, because nobody wants to own mortgage stocks when interest rates go up because it kills demand for mortgages. But it looks very attractive to me to even average down. My average price is like $9 a share, and I was only getting paid like 3%. Now it's at 9%, and I'm like, I definitely want to get in on that. And it's kind of like a meme momentum stock at weird points. Like this spike and this spike, it was like the Wall Street bets. People were buying it up. So in a weird way, it is like all of these spikes were like retail investors, like a meme stock type category. I'm a CMC programmer on Mills. Oh, there we go. The halts they're talking about, will they only be throughout the whole market, or can an individual broker just halt the trading? Oh, it's the actual exchange will halt it. So it's not just like Robinhood or Webull or something like that. No. Oh, that's going to be the last thing any brokerage does from this point out, is halt a stock, like or disable the buy button or whatever. Like no brokerage wants to do that at all. I mean, the more I look at this chart too, the more I want to buy it. And I kind of have like insider information with this company, but not really. Like, my sister works at Rocket Mortgage, and they are literally like headquartered down the road, and she says business is still really good. So it's definitely, in my opinion, an overblown sell-off. And to yield 9%, I mean, I don't see it going much lower, because people are ultimately going to buy a 9% dividend stock. And your loss to the downside, your capital loss on the shares, I don't see it going much higher, but possible. Don't quote me on that, not financial advice, but looks like an attractive dividend stock. Shiba's what? It's ripping. Why is it? It keeps ripping. Is everybody just buying sheep? Is that it? Like, Elon tweeted about Dogecoin, and people didn't buy it as aggressively as Shiba? Oh, ANGH. Oh, I seen that. That was dirty. That was so dirty. Oh, no. It was, or was it this company? Was it this company? No. No, maybe it's a different one I was looking at. Arrow. Was it this one? No, there was a company I was looking at earlier that literally was up so much and then just cratered through the floor. I was like, what? I mean, DWAC did that too. So, I mean, fuckers. Phew. That thing got clobbered, down $17 from peak to low. Crazy. That was a wicked move. It looks like it'll probably sell off tomorrow too. Now, if Peter Thiel, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, if he joins the board for Truth Social or DWAC, Aerotime International. Oh yeah, I need to watch that movie again. That's funny. If he joins the board of DWAC, then I think you're gonna see a big rally in DWAC. That motherfucker's been in everything. What's up? What's up? What's up? You too. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In there like swimwear. What are the futures doing? Yeah, they're flirting with negative. I mean, they're not as volatile because I think market makers are just kind of confused right now, to be honest. Yeah, this was a interesting development earlier too. Biden says Nord Stream 2 won't go forward if Russia invades Ukraine, but German Chancellor demurs. Yeah, they had this meeting and it looked like Germany was aligned with what we have been saying. That was at the end of the day, and the markets actually did sell off. Another weird headline: Tesla cuts a steering component from some cars to deal with chip shortage, sources say. They said it was just a backup, but I definitely want to watch Tesla stock tomorrow to see if that does affect anything, because they didn't disclose it, which I don't think they have to, but kind of sketch a little bit. Shark Tank. And then China's property developers are seen having a hard time accessing U.S. bond markets. China's property troubles will make it harder for developers in the country to access U.S. debt markets, according to Moody's Investor Service. We are seeing the trend of China property turmoil continue to dampen enthusiasm from high-yield issuance. Given those funding conditions, it's going to continue to remain a challenge for some of those issuers to access the U.S. dollar bond market, she said. Interesting. China's just, they're not doing so hot. Yeah, futures. I know we have a couple Fed speakers this week, too. Delaying Truth Social. What's the day, though? Yeah, they said the app would be released by March 31st. So that's interesting. Me and AMC is like a long-term booty call. Carla. There we go. Bond CDOs and CD swaps, debt and bond market problems smells like '08. Oh yeah. Things are going to get really bad. In general, because the economy's slowing down and it's going to slow down, but with inflation so high, the Fed, what they do to stimulate the economy and get it back up to par so we don't go into a Great Depression is essentially print more money and stimulate demand. But if inflation's high, they aren't going to be able to do that. So if they print more money, inflation will get even higher. So they can't cut rates down even more than they are right now. So it's a lose-lose situation. Yeah, so it's like a lose-lose situation all around. The Fed, they're not going to have anything to really do. If I was the Fed at this current moment, I would be trying to get inflation under control as fast as possible. If I was honestly the Fed right now and I can see project out what's going to happen, I would probably be raising rates probably 1% in March. Fuck 0.25%, fuck 0.5%. I'm raising them 1%. You got to get inflation down before the economy substantially slows down. Like, you got to figure things out. The only thing they will be able to do when things are said and done to prevent a Great Depression like period, and well, I shouldn't say Great Depression. It might not be that bad, but it's going to be substantially bad. It's going to be very bad. The only thing, and what they'll probably end up doing to get inflation under control in a year or two, is set price controls. And Congress can do that. So, setting price controls kicks the can down the road. But, yeah, it's not good. You can buy stocks on Cash App. Oh, yeah. You are so wrong. Unless you're prepared to navigate a bear market, you are screwed. Rate hikes March and April. What are you talking about? You are screwed. Rate hikes March and April. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. March and April. I mean, the markets are pricing in 6 to 7 rate hikes. So that's almost every single FOMC meeting this whole year. So I don't know what part you're confused on. I can elaborate if you're confused on something. I am fully prepared though to navigate a bull market or a bear market. Not the first rodeo. Just this one, we had a massive expansion of the economy, and you're naturally going to see a massive contraction of the economy. It's how it works every time. Tyler's shorting us. His name is the retail shorter. Yeah, I see that. He's shorting us. I think everybody shorts us until they get burned by us. Because we are a force to be reckoned with. I think everybody agrees on that. Dogecoin, dude, come on. I tried to get crypto.com because for some reason Coinbase, like nowhere I try to sign up that has more cryptos will accept a picture of my ID, because you got to send your picture, your front and back. None of them will accept it. It's not expired, it's fine, it's updated, it's like from only a year ago. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to get off here and go feed the dog, maybe. Probably research some trades, stuff like that. So thank you guys for tuning in. Eric Cuddle, all you guys, David Johnson, everybody that has the green name, that don't, that's a mod or just in here every single day. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the super chats, for coming and spending an hour or so with your guy TCI. So that's it. And thank you guys. And I will see you tomorrow. And yeah, hopefully we all don't lose too much money. Hopefully you guys all make a lot of money, right? learn options. Check out Earl Nightingale's Strangest Secret in the World. Proverbs, all that good stuff. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read some books. It's all good. So thank you guys. Love you guys. Thank you.